Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day between... Oh, what happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned Elg cash, about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming, "Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky." If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the VIG to take into account. The VIG? Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? I don't even know. I'm not sure what his motive would be. I'm about to find out, though. Excuse me. Yeah, I loaned Elg cash. So, if that waitress hadn't done what she had done, everything would have been over. What do you mean by that? The waitress. You mean the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? She hadn't gone in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little... Okay. What exactly are you implying the defendant did? How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad, she poisoned Elg's coffee. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, Trite. The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I see. Your Honor. The witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. I concur, Mr. Godot. You will amend your testimony accordingly. So what's he adding to the testimony? Thanks to what she did, my business with that kid was over. Okay. Hold on, let me save real quick. Thanks to what she did, my business with that kid was over. The tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended? I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended. Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. Yakuza 3, okay. You were after the 100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. So that's why you needed the money. Huh. So you intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. Where did yous get all this info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Ha. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Grog! Order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Pwah! Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt. We're finally coming down to the wire on this. Order. What do you say to that, witness? It's a nice little fairy tale, trite. But even if the witness did need $1 million, that doesn't tie him to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000, and had no hope of repaying it anyway. Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit. I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true. The opposite? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But what? In this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Do you know where you're going with this, Nick? Got to think outside the box, Maya. Outside the box? It's very straightforward. Mr. Tigre wasn't after $100,000 at all. He was after something that was worth more. What exactly was Mr. Tigre after? I passed it. There it is. Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money. Care to explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, Trite? He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? Really, Judge? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing, the virus. Grrr. Grrr. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on his CD. Glenn Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly, at the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy! He murdered Glenn Elg and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owned the witness money, too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Order, order, silence, or I will clear the courtroom. Grah, ha ha ha. Yous put on a good show, Spikey. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? You planted the thing on her, right? Yeah, you planted her fingerprints on her. On her. Wait, no. You posed as me. You posed as me, that's what you did. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. T. Gray, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you. With your red skin? Like, how does that make any sense? The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Arrgh! I like how even their hair looks exactly the same from the back. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Gulp. Hey. Oh, look at him. He's doing a different face. Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right, Your Honor. Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. T. Gray are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elg. You say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Well... Now would be the perfect moment for, someone... Excuse me. Now would be the perfect moment for someone to show up. Sucks to be you. Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled. You got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence. Maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. Come on. You can't do that. Hold it. Come on, Gumshoe. Save the day. I love that heroic portrait of Gumshoe with his wide open mouth. Detective Gumshoe. Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. Your heart. Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? He's just standing there angrily blinking. Blinking with his eyes. Well, yeah, what else would you blink with? Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results for the... Why are we outside the court? The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. So, do you know who the prints belong to now? You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright? That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but... It really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is a body. No, I'm kidding. Is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elg's coffee. Is it irrefutable or irrefutable? It might be irrefutable. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference. What? Why? Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. That's not true, Gumshoe. This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie, you've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Small bottle put into pocket. 3:04 p.m. I wonder what time his bus was for. Mr. Wright, yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. I like how the coffee just slides into his hand like Thor's hammer or something. Or like, give me a drink, bartender. Like sliding the drink across the table. Instead, it's the opposite. The drink slides into his hand instead of out of it. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up. I'll make you stand up. No, never mind. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you's gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but you's lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion. Yeah, lawyers know how to blow things, alright. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Excuse me. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, then he doesn't. He'll let his guard down a bit. Present this final, decisive piece of evidence to the court. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway? Oh. A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Okay, interesting. Mr. Tigre, this is a decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. I'm sorry I can't speak. Oh my gosh. Why? Because it contains... This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? Ha 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 ha. You'd make a good clown, you know that. What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the Taiga? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, no. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the Taiga, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. The silence is so loud. Oh my god. What? Why has everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle with cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who yous messing with. I'm the Taiga. I control millions of dollars on the black market. Yous think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserved. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Alright, let's see his breakdown. Oh my god, he has no eyes! Oh, that was cool. That was genuinely scary. Who turned out the lights? It looks like a blackout. What? Godot's mask. Oh. What's your arm doing out like that? Oh my god. How'd you throw the coffee perfectly at us in the dark? And why? Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe. But if this one ha ha ha. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave honor. Miss Bird was found guilty of... Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Man, you can't just smile and say that to me. Aw, Maggie. She looks so cute when she's saluting like that. That is all. Alright, now let's see the cute little ending of this case. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie, that was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off. I'll see you around. Wait, just a second. Detective Gumshoe? Oh yeah. Congrats, Maggie! Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Well, I was... guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait, Detective! Maggie? Why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. What, you can't say ass? It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. What do you mean? It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya is right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. So that's why she doesn't like him. That makes sense, I guess. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Ta-da! Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? She's crying, and Maya's like cheering her on. Aw, that's really cute. How is it, Maggie? It's really good. Oh man, I had these like little I guess maple sugar tiny like sausage links. They're frozen, but like I cooked them in the pan. They were so good. Like maple syrup flavored sausage links, I guess you could say. I'll have to get those again, because like I thought, oh, frozen sausages, it can't be that good. And they were so good. So, whatever. I have thoughts on that case, but... Oh my god!